Hello students, continuation of the last video. In the last video we have discussed one illustration, and let us move on second illustration, that is on separate acquisition or else deferred credit term. If a payment for an intangible asset is deferred beyond normal credit terms, its cost is the cash price equivalent. So the difference between this amount and the total payment is recognized as interest expense over the period of credit unless it is capitalized in accordance with Indian Accounting Standard 23, that is a borrowing cost. So or refer deferred credit term topic and concept capsule in Indian Accounting Standard 16 for a better understanding. Here is one question. Read that question. Venus India Private Limited acquired a software for its internal use costing 10 lakh. The amount payable for the software was 6 lakh immediately and 4 lakh in 1 year time. The other expenditure incurred were purchase tax 1 lakh, entry tax 10%, and recoverable. This is a recoverable letter from tax department, and legal fees or legal tax is rupees 87,000. Consultancy fees for implementation 1,20,000. Cost of capital of the company is 10%. So we have to calculate the cost of the software on initial recognition using the principles of Indian Accounting Standard 38 intangible assets. So here the cost of the particular software is 10 lakh. So for that 10 lakh, at the initial they paid 6 lakh in cash and 4 lakh after 1 year. That means that 4 lakh is considered as deferred consideration. So after 1 year means there is a discounting factor for that 4 lakh. So for 1 year, so in the last problem ನಾವು ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ 1/1 ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, is it? So here 4 lakh divided by 1.1 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ 3,63,636 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪಿ ವಿ ಎಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಪಿ ಎಫ್ ಎಟ್ 10% ಫಾರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್. 1 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ 4 lakhs ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನಾವು 1 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಹೋಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆ್ಯನ್ ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್, the difference between this amount and the total payment is recognized as interest expense over the period of credit unless it is capitalized in accordance with accounting standard. So here 4 lakhs after 1 year ಪೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು at 10%. that means 1.1. 4 lakh divided by 1.1. so you will get 3,63,636. So and there is a purchase tax 1 lakh. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡ್ರೇಷನನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರಿಫಂಡೇಬಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ರಿಕವರೇಬಲ್ ಲೇಟರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರಿಕವರೇಬಲ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ವೇ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ not included or not, that should be not added to the cost of the software. And one more legal fees 87,000, that should be added, and consultancy fee also should be added to 1,20,000, added to the cost of the capital or cost of the software. ಸೊ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಸ್ 10% ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನೇ ನಾನು ಅವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡ್ರೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು at 10% ಫಾರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. ಸೊ here is the solution. Cash paid, total cash paid 6 lakh. So after 1 year they paid that 4 lakh. So for that 4 lakh ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ನ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. that is at 10% for first year. 4 lakh divided by 1.1, you will get 3,63,636. Purchase tax should be added. Entry tax, it is not included in the cost of the particular software because it is a recoverable tax, refundable tax. And legal fees should be added 87,000. Consultancy fees for implementation 1,20,000. Total cost should be 12,70,636. Right. Is there any doubt? I hope the problem solution is clear, right? Let us move on next concept, that is acquisition as part of a business combination. ಸೊ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ರೆಕಗ್ನಿಷನ್ ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾ ಫಾರ್ ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಂಜಿಬಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ business combination. How we can measure the fair value of the particular asset? So if an intangible asset acquired in a business combination is separable or arises from contractual or other legal rights, sufficient information exists to measure reliably the fair value of the assets. And also, when for the estimates used to measure an intangible asset's fair value, there is a range of possible outcomes with different probabilities. That is, uncertainty enters into the measurement of the asset's fair value. An intangible asset acquired in a business combination might be separable, but only together with a related contract identifiable asset or a liability. In such cases, the acquirer recognizes the intangible asset separably from goodwill, but together with the related item. The acquirer may recognize a group of complementary intangible assets as a single asset, provided the individual assets have similar useful lives. For example, the terms brand and the brand name are often used as synonym for trademarks and other marks. This is about how to measure the fair value of the cost of a particular intangible asset. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ you can understand these things. So let us move on next question, that is on business combination. On 31st March 2011, Earth India Limited paid 50 lakhs for 100% interest in Sun Limited. At that date, Sun Limited net assets had a fair value of 30 lakhs. In addition, Sun Limited also held the following rights. It is a trademark named Grand valued at 80,000 using the discontinued cash, and sold distribution rights to an electric product. Future cash flows from which are estimated to be 1,50,000 per annum for the next 6 years. 10% is considered an appropriate discount rate, and the 6-year 10% annuity factor is 4.36. Calculate the goodwill and other intangible assets arising on acquisition. Here is the solution. First, write purchase consideration of the particular asset. It is 50 lakhs. From that, deduct net asset of the Sun Limited 30 lakhs, and also a trademark named, it is 1,80,000, and distribution rights. Here, sold distribution rights to an electric product. Future cash flows from which are estimated to be 1,50,000 per annum ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Is it for next 6 years? So for 1,50,000 for 6 years, that means 10% annuity factor ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Annuity factor is 4.36. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1,50,000 into 4.36 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ you will get 6,54,000 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So that is the total. And from 50 lakhs deduct 38 lakh 34,000, you will get 11 lakh 66,000. That is a goodwill on acquisition. So in this question they are asked to calculate goodwill and other intangible assets arising on acquisition, right? So that is a purchase consideration of the particular asset 50 lakh, and at that date Sun Limited they had net assets rupees 30 lakh. That is a business combination. ನಾನು ಆವಾಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಬಿನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅರ್ತ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸನ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಸನ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರೇಷನ್ 50 lakh. From that deduct other business or net assets, that is a Sun Limited assets 30 lakhs, and Sun Limited also held following rights. ಇದು ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಪನಿದು ರೈಟ್ಸ್, ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್? That is a trademark 1,80,000 and sole distribution right 1,50,000 per annum for 6 years, right? So 10% is considered an appropriate, but here for 6 year 10% annuity factor ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, that is a 4.36. if annuity factor is given 1,50,000 ಅದನ್ನು ಇಂಟು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಆಯಿತು. 4.36 ಇಂಟು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you will get some amount, that is 6,54,000. so these things are a B company information, right? About the B company, that is net assets acquired by Sun Limited and trademark by Sun Limited, distribution rights for Sun Limited, right? So ಅದನ್ನು ಈ ಅಮೌಂಟಿಂದ ಡಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ದ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ 11,66,000. that is a goodwill on acquisition. I hope the concept is clear, right? If you have any doubts you can clarify it. Thank you.